By the way, CSL cut a clip of me laughing at Debbie D'Souza's missed cue. Just took a piece of that out, and I'm gonna post it later. It's like 7 minutes long. And I was watching it just to see where it started and ended, and I laughed out loud at the exact same moment I laughed when it happened. When she comes around the corner before he calls her. That's never gonna get old. Okay. Now, I don't know what the special news bulletin is, but since it's episode 6 and all she talks about is January 6th, just watched a tape copy of today's hearing. Don't ruin it for me. Oh, I won't. It was great. That part was great. This is 39 minutes long. We're not doing all of this. We'll do a chunk of it. But whenever she changes tacks, we're going to move on because I don't need any of this in my life. But I'm curious. This is the opening of the show. By the way, we're 6 minutes, 33 seconds, and this is where she first starts talking in this thing. And I thought I had a draggy opening while I'm getting set up. Criminy. Okay, here we go. MTG Special News Bulletin. Okay, what are you doing now? Oh, I turned the audio off.
Over 10,000 migrants coming through Mexico
oh my God.
to invade our...
Hold on. This is a perfect freeze frame. Can we all just enjoy this for a minute? I seriously, my genitals are crawling up near my spine right now in fear. This is about the Migrant Caravan, which by all right-wing accounts so far has been 5,000 people. The biggest one ever that they keep talking about is 15,000. She's now saying it's 10. Okay, let's see.
Places that you can't afford. If you're a mom...
Hold on. Things you can't afford.
In D.C. Well, as you know, most of you at home are reeling and trying to keep up with out-of-control inflation, gas prices that you can't afford.
Gas prices you cannot afford. If you try to put gas in your Ford, it will not. Oh, boy.
If you're a mom or a father or
both,
or if you're a grandparent, you can't find baby formula anywhere on any of the store shelves.
Isn't it usually mom or dad, mother or father? If you're a mom or a father,
we have an open.
By the way, yes, you can.
Prices that you can't afford. If you're a mom or a father or if you're a grandparent, you can't find baby formula anywhere.
Well, if you're a grandparent, you're told to have a baby. I'm just saying. I mean, maybe you're doing some of the shopping, but
where on any of the store shelves.
You can't find, what was that again? You can't find baby formula anywhere on any of the store shelves.
Inflation, gas prices that you can't afford. If you're a mom or a father or if you're a grandparent, you can't find baby formula anywhere on any of the store shelves. We have an open border that is completely out of control. And we just found out here recently that we have over 10,000 migrants coming through Mexico to invade our country.
Oh my God. Are they armed? Do they have tanks? They're going to invade our country? Invade our country with what? Service jobs? What is it? Jesus.
That's basically like an army.
It's basically like an army with a lot of babies and women, but an army of babies and women. The worst kind of army, really.
But you know what's happening?
Because what they do is they invade by crying on planes and slapping them in the aisles at the store and making you feel socially awkward and smoking over the crib. You know, a baby mama invasion.
In Washington, we have the Democrat agenda that they have had on their minds for years and years. It's all about gun control.
Is it?
While the Democrats ignore all the illegal shootings that happen all over the country.
I think we're trying to deal with the illegal shootings. I think what she means is the illegals that are shooting, I think.
In cities like Chicago, Atlanta, New York, LA, Detroit, and many other Democrat-run cities.
Yeah, or where all the crime is, where of course all the money is, and all the other stuff is, where all the coffee shops are, where all the offices are.
While they ignore those shootings, while they ignore those murders.
Well, I think most of what you're talking about would affect those things, especially domestic violence, and pop-off crimes. those people not being able to get their hands on a gun, and tightening the penalties around a felon using a gun or someone using a gun in the commission of a crime, which is one of the things that, by the way, the Republicans stripped out again.
And while they ignore the fact that those cities are some of the most strict gun control cities in the nation,
they can't, because we don't have border police at every state. They have to deal with all the guns coming in from the places that don't have strict gun laws at all and want to pass them out in the grocery store.
Here they are in Washington, D.C., trying to bring the same failing laws and put them in place. Why? Because they want to strip away your freedoms.
Yes, your freedom to decide you've had enough and open fire on your neighbors, because nothing shows your anger towards a tyrannical government like shooting up a barbershop or a grocery store or a high school. You know, that's what the Founding Fathers intended. A lunatic who has checked themselves into a mental hospital should be able to buy 30-round magazines.
Now, here's what I want you to do right now.
Oh boy. Instructions. What do you think's coming? Does anybody have any guesses? I'm leaving my pants on. I'm just saying. I'm not going to the gym. I'm not going to a sex guru. I have no interest. Thank you very much. I mean, I'll go to the gym, but not one. Never mind.
We have a phone number that you can text or you can call and leave us a message. It's 855-MTG-LIVE, 855.
How do I... Now, why am I not on when this is live?
MTG Live. Or if you want to send us an email, something that we can read later.
Something... Oh, see, I was going to send you an email, but it's something you can read later. So I guess I'll have to... First, it'll have to be in all caps. All single syllable words. This is going to be work.
Go ahead and send that to letters@mtglive.com. Letters@mtglive.com. We love your emails. We love
Oh, yeah, I bet.
your voicemails. We love your text messages.
You love them. You love easy.
But here's what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Okay.
On episode 6 of
Yeah. This is episode 6. Yeah.
MTG Live, we're going to be covering everything about guns. But here's where I
Everything?
want to tell you a story. I want to tell you a very personal story that involves one Republican senator who is leading the charge to vote for Joe Biden's gun control.
Hold on. One very personal story about someone else.
Take away your freedoms, to violate your Second Amendment rights, to violate due process, to
All right.
violate every single thing that America stands for.
Every single thing that America stands for. So not only this, but they're going to bring back slavery. They're going to... all right.
And I'm really upset about that.
Thank you,
And the
Kimberly.
reason why
You are?
I'm upset is
because...
Republicans should not be helping Joe Biden and the communist Democrats take away our God-given right to defend ourselves.
Well, they aren't. They are not taking away your God-given right to defend yourself. What they are really recognizing that in the modern, efficient metallurgy and capabilities of modern firearms, projectiles, trajectories, grain count, and so forth, magazine capacity, sighting, and consistency in manufacturing, that if you want to defend yourself, you have a myriad of options, from a shotgun to a handgun within reasonable limits. And of course, you wouldn't need a multiple like 30-round capacity magazine to defend yourself, unless you were also defending your human trafficking and meth industry that you run out of your trailer in New Mexico.
No. It should be the Republicans who should be standing in the way, especially in the Senate, because the Senate is the one place where
The Senate is the one place where Republicans are disproportionately recognized and create genuinely a situation of taxation without representation. Because Wyoming, of course, has 2 senators, so does California. I rest my case.
Republicans can actually stop these radical bills and stop this attack on our Constitution and on our freedoms. But we have a problem in the Senate. You see
Uh-oh.
a lot of our Republican senators cave. And there is one particular Republican
Oh, this one. Who is it?
senator that has been elected in Congress here in Washington, D.C. for 27 years.
No, it's not him. He's been in there longer, I think. Who is somebody terrible? Mitt Romney, somebody they hate. A rhino, somebody that has been insufficiently loyal. It's Lindsey Graham, I bet.
And this one, well, you know him well. His name is Senator Lindsey Graham.
Didn't take much.
Sometimes we love him and sometimes we hate him. He seems to have a split personality.
Or it might be that you're a simpleton and you only respond positively to things that, oh, never mind.
But right now, I have a particular problem with Senator Lindsey Graham.
Mm-hmm.
You see, here's my issue.
Over salivation from too many supplements.
He tweeted out that he is willing to go ahead and vote for every single gun control measure the Democrats have because he wants to help his good buddy, Joe Biden. Can you go ahead and put that tweet up on the screen?
Yeah, let's see the tweet that says, I, Lindsey Graham, am willing to vote for everything. Well, didn't they shoot? I'm sorry. Somebody's saying we got a super chat from Brian says, "Hey, take it easy on New Mexico." I only made that reference, Brian, because that's where they filmed Breaking Bad. That's 100%.
Screen for me.
Here it is. This is Lindsey Graham. We're about to see it. Lindsey Graham's tweet where he said, "I'm going to vote for anything the Democrats put forward to help my good buddy Joe Biden." I don't know why she's even putting it up. I stand ready to vote on all proposals mentioned by President Biden tonight and encourage the Democratic leader to bring them forward for votes. All the proposals mentioned by President Biden, not all the Democratic ones, but the ones he brought up specifically, which were the bipartisan ones. Okay. And encourage the Democratic leader to bring them forward for votes.
Here he is, Lindsey Graham, June 2nd.
One of two. I also stand ready to work across the aisle to find common ground, something that was absent from President Biden's address to the nation.
2022. I stand ready to vote on all
of them.
All caps, all the proposals mentioned by President Biden tonight and encourage the Democratic leader to bring forward.
He didn't say vote yes.
Vote.
No, that's typical. You want to talk about typical slimy Lindsey Graham.
Then the second part of the tweet, I also stand ready to work across the aisle to find common ground. Something that
there is no common ground. We live on deadly ground. Steven Seagal
was absent from President Biden's address to the nation. Here's the problem.
Here's the problem. There is no quarter, okay? We need all these weapons in case the revenuers decide to come out to our farm and stop us growing meth trees.
Here's the major problem. Why would we have a Republican senator from South Carolina ready to go to vote on radical gun control bills that are going to hurt the very people that voted for him and put him in office?
Well, I think that, oh my God, Audrey, thank you so much. Audrey Wellham for the super chat. You're amazing. Thanks so much. Oh my gosh. That's really lovely. Now I can't tell my kid we need to wait to pay for the game upgrade that he wants. Make sure no one mentions that to Camden. But you could. Thank you so much, Audrey.
You see, South Carolina is not a blue state.
No. And we're not America, okay? We're the United States of Civil War. Get it fucking straight.
No, South Carolina is a red state. There's a lot of gun owners in South Carolina.
Yeah, there's a lot of gun owners in Vermont, too.
And they are not going to be
There's a lot of gun owners in California.
Very happy with the
yeah, there should be a distinction, I think. Not all gun owners are lunatics who want schools shut up. I don't know what the percentage is. According to Marge, it's like 4/5. I'd say it's 1/36,000th.
Senator that they elected and sent to Washington, D.C. to represent their values.
One of their values seems to be they don't want to live in a war zone. They want to be able to defend themselves if it comes to it, but they don't want to live in, basically like South Carolina's version of Yemen.
To defend their freedoms and protect their gun rights and uphold the Constitution, they're not going to like it very much when he's up here helping Joe Biden pass his communist agenda.
Is there some sort of Marxist like to each a shotgun according to his needs?
And go ahead and destroy their Second Amendment rights. No, they're not going to be.
No, sir. No, ma'am. No, whatever you are, Mr. Lindsey Graham. No. Okay. That is not the America. The purpose of the Constitution was written so that Americans could walk around in a constant Mexican standoff after the war with Mexico and still ongoing, so that we just basically everybody walks around, put it down in the basket. You did not pay for that paper bag. You did not paper bag. Put it down, sir. Using credit card, that machine is not working, sir. That machine is not working. This is a cash only aisle, ma'am, please. We have a limit on Otter Pops. What are you pointing that gun at me? Ma'am, do you know where the baked goods are? Sir, I am helping 2 other customers. At this point, you will have to wait a moment. Yeah, I just need to know. I got 2 things picking up, and I got some frozen stuff in the basket, and I just want to. Is the bread in the other aisle fresh, or is that the 2 days? Sir, please. I didn't mean you. Put that down.
Very happy about that at all.
Yeah, life at gunpoint. That is the. Yeah, Auto Pops. It's pronounced Otter Pops, sir. You want an Auto Pop? Start lipping some more. Okay. Sorry, I'm on break right now. Y'all are gonna have to. Jerry, can you come over, please? Yeah, absolutely. Y'all, this is my scatter gun, so I pretty much got y'all covered.
At all. And that's where I have a problem. Here's why.
This is why you have a problem.
We're going to talk about.
Let's start at your marriage now.
About one of the bills that's coming through, the Protect the Children Act, that the Democrats are bringing to the floor this week in Congress. And
this Protect the Children thing will also protect adults. And that is outside the scope of the bill, okay? More overreach from the deep state.
House, we're going to be voting on these bills.
Can you put the fucking tweets down now, dum-dum? We've seen them. They're still...
We're going to have a whole slew of gun control.
You know what? I take it back. Can you take these tweets and move them this direction, just about 2 inches?
Activists who are trained, who are funded, and who are coming to Washington, D.C. this
Yeah, but they're all in the Mexican Caravan, so they won't be here for weeks.
Week. They will be crawling all over the Capitol, coming to my office, coming to many people's offices to explain why.
Well, the nice thing is, you know what? The good part is unlike the Capitol rioters, they won't be armed. None of them are going to have a gun. That's the one good thing about being picketed or badgered by anti-gun activists, is that many of them are pacifists and none of them are armed.
Why Americans should lose their Second Amendment rights, to explain why your right to bear.
Well, you wouldn't lose your Second Amendment rights. It would have a natural limit. You can't have a nuclear weapon either. Can't have a howitzer.
Arms, your right to own a gun, your right to own an AR-15, your right to have as much ammunition as you want to protect you.
Oh yeah, and by the way, how much ammunition you have is a point of conversation. But the idea, if you're stockpiling it, it's completely reasonable that in a well-regulated militia, the state, local, or federal authorities might want to. Hey, man, yeah, we noticed that you have bought 60,000 rounds of 5.56, a shit ton of 22s, and a lot of 9mm shells. Like, what is it, Gary? Like, it's like 72,000 rounds. We also noticed that you, according to your credit card receipts, which we bought, we didn't, we haven't been tracking you or anything. This is all for sale. You checked the box, so can you blame us? It says, basically, your consumer rundown is that you don't go anywhere, you don't have any friends, and the last thing you purchased that wasn't a gun was a fleshlight and a paper mask that looks like Judge Janine. And we were just wondering why.
Yourself and your family, or God forbid, anyone else, if someone is attacking you or trying to hurt others. No, they don't want you to have that right. And then unfortunately we have.
Well, sure they do. What the fuck do you need an AR-15 to defend yourself in that circumstance? Again, even Kyle Rittenhouse, everything that happened to him, he could have defended himself with a handgun. He fired less than 5 shots, and if he hadn't been carrying the AR-15 and had a handgun on him like Grosskreutz did, the odds of someone attacking him or making a target out of him would have been lower anyways.
Our Republican Senator Lindsey Graham.
Yes, please. By the way, fuck, man, I keep forgetting to bring popcorn for these moments.
Doesn't think you deserve that right either. Now, here's what I want to point out. I want to show you what he's been talking about a lot lately.
What's he been talking about a lot lately?
Lindsey Graham doesn't think you deserve that right either.
He doesn't.
Now, here's what I want to point out.
Mm-hmm.
I want to show you what he's been talking about.
Yes, what's he been talking about?
A lot lately. Can we pull up his Twitter feed? Is that possible?
No, it's not possible. I'm sorry. We just had it up, but we can only do it once a show because he filed an injunction against us.
You see, I would think that a United States Senator would be very interested.
I would think that a member of the House would have the production capability, considering they have a staff. This is pissing me off. You're definitely using OBS or something to put this shit on screen. You definitely have the ability to transfer from one camera to another. You don't even have to. You can just frame the camera differently. Stupid. This is a mess. I'm sorry. It just upsets me, okay? Okay? How can you... I mean, we expect a certain level of competence from her and the people
in the United States, especially when we have so many major problems going on. Women, moms and dads, grandparents.
Women, moms, and dad. Women, moms, women, dads, and women, grandparents.
People that are caring for babies under the age of 1.
Uh-huh.
Can't find baby formula.
Yes, they can.
But unfortunately, here we have Senator Lindsey Graham is more interested in Ukraine. And there's one key thing that he's most interested in. It is making sure that they have enough weapons, that they have enough guns, that they have enough ammunition to defend themselves from Russia, who has invaded their country, and there's a war over there. Now,
wait, when did this start? Is anybody... Oh, shit. There's a war over there? Also, hey, dipshit, do you know the difference between an elementary school and a war zone? They want to send them guns over to defend themselves. They don't consider them assault weapons in those situations. Yes, they do. Those people are under assault. There is a current assault going.
He is committed. I mean, if you scroll through his Twitter feed,
the nerve.
It is nonstop making sure that he can make that. It's all about sending money, sending help to Ukraine. Okay, you can go ahead and take that down.
Yeah, I don't need to see that. It's terrible.
He wants,
because there's a bunch of things where he's deriding Joe Biden and shitting on Democrats, and it cuts against my argument.
To make sure that American tax dollars, listen, while you at home are working so hard every single day at your job and making sure that you pay your taxes, that you dot your I's, you cross your T's, he wants to make sure that your tax dollars are helping people in Ukraine to defend themselves. But he's
in a war.
Stands ready to vote for all of Joe Biden's gun control bill.
Well, no, vote on them.
He's ready to go. Ready.
Yeah, I don't trust that he's a man of his word.
To vote yes on that. Now,
no, it didn't say that. Stupid.
Don't forget, this is the same senator, Republican senator, that's been one of those in the Senate that has also voted to confirm all of Joe Biden's picks for his administration.
The nerve.
He doesn't really have a problem with the people that Joe Biden picks.
Yeah, did you see the black lady? They did a black lady. There was the black lady.
He goes ahead and votes them on in. Remember when President Trump could hardly get any of his people confirmed?
No one remembers that.
Yes, Democrats stood in the way and tried
No, they didn't.
to block every single one.
No, they did not.
Well, Lindsey Graham's not doing that. He's helping his friend that he served in the Senate
Again, like, that's just goofy. Like, it's not even remotely true.
with for years and years. He's helping him and making sure that Joe Biden gets his people put in place so they can radically destroy the United States of America.
Oh, God. Oh, she's getting signaled from somebody else over here. Move on.
I don't think that's what a Republican senator from South Carolina should be doing.
Well, then you should run for Senate in South Carolina then. Good luck.
So let's get back to the little story.
Oh, the little story. Gather round. I'm already bored, but
I want to tell you guys a story.
Okay, let's. Good. Should I loosen my belt?
Now, in 2019, I went to Washington. And the reason why I went to Washington is because I was upset just as a regular American.
It was a regular QAnon.
I was not involved in politics. I did not hold office. I was not running for office.
Yeah, but that is in America. You don't have to run for office or hold a seat in office to be involved in politics. That's kind of the point.
I was just a person just like you.
Excuse you?
These people, many of you watching this right now. And the reason why I went to Washington is there was a certain bill going through the Senate Judiciary Committee. They were having a hearing, and it was about red flag laws. It was about red flag gun.
Holy shit. This is what drove her to it? This was the last straw for Marge Greene, was red flag laws?
And confiscation
That's like thought police.
Laws. And it was a particular bill that was going through. And I went there because I wanted to tell our senators, I wanted to tell as many of them as I could, that as a gun owner, as a woman, as a business owner, as a mother, my gun rights are extremely important to me. And I was asking all of them to vote no in 2019.
So that more mothers and women who own businesses and work like me could be killed by their former partners, because red flag laws, more than any other category, will affect domestic violence murders. And I had to stop that in its tracks.
To this red flag gun.
Yeah, I know. This June 9th. That's the last one she posted.
Confiscation bills. Now,
but this was her special news.
The reason why I was doing that, and you need to know something about me, is the Second Amendment is extremely important to me.
Right. She loves anything she barely understands.
And it's important to me because when I was 16 years old, when I was in 11th grade, at my high school, which was a gun-free zone, by the way, and it had become so because of the Democrats' policies, thank you, Joe Biden, that made our schools gun-free school zones.
In Georgia? That's not because of Joe Biden.
One of my schoolmates brought 3 guns to school in a duffel bag, brought them on the school bus in the morning, came to school and carried that duffel bag into his first period class. That student had brought 3 guns to school that day to kill other students. And it is a tragic, horrible shame. Now, what happened is our entire school went on lockdown. We were terrified. We had never been through anything like this before. And the scariest thing that my friends and I talked about in our classroom while we
were hunkered down was, I wish I had brought a gun myself to school so that, oh God.
We were being told we could not leave our classrooms. There was another student on the loose with guns. We were talking to each other about who is protecting us. If he has guns, who are the good guys that have guns? Does our principal have guns?
They call the police, and the police show up and do this. Now, again, in most places that aren't Texas, this actually works.
Do our coaches have guns?
No, your coaches do not have guns. They barely remember to wear underwear when they're wearing gym shorts.
Is there a security officer in our building that has guns?
I don't know.
Does our teacher have guns?
Would have been better if you knew they had guns before this situation.
Guess what the answer was? No one had guns.
And nobody got shot.
The only person in my high school that day was the very upset, mentally ill, out of control
kid who red flag laws would have stopped him from having access to those guns. You mean the kid that brought guns to school that everybody knew was crazy, but at that time they did not have red flag gun laws to stop kids like him from getting fucking hell.
Deranged teenager who was upset, so upset that he had brought 3 guns to school that day to kill other students.
Right. Well, that's why people bring guns places, to kill people. Some of them say it's in defense, but, that's why you bring them. Also, what?
He was the one that had the guns.
Right. Understood. And then a red flag law would have stopped him, and then no one at your school, you wouldn't have even thought about this.
And guess what that meant? He controlled every single thing that happened from that time on once he pulled those guns out.
Which would have been true if your teacher had a gun and he knew it, and you knew that, like, if every student like you knew that the teacher had a gun, he would have walked in and gone, "Hi, Miss Clara," blam, and shot them, and then held the class hostage and had 2 guns. 4 in this case. Fuck is the point?
Here's what I learned that day.
More guns are better.
Now,
Always.
I learned this.
Teenagers should know where all the guns are at all times.
I never want to be in a situation where the only person in control is a madman with guns. That is the most dangerous situation. But that is the situation that Democrats, Joe Biden especially with his gun-free school zones, have put our children in all over the country for years now.
Oh, for fuck's sake. There was an armed school resource officer in Uvalde. The police are like 8 minutes away. The dude was walking around in front of the place for a half an hour.
And this needs to end. And this is why I'm extremely upset about this. Every single person.
Because you're dumb and nihilistic and self-involved. And you think the whole world filters through you. And you believe that you should be the tyrant.
In this country is upset about school shootings. They should never happen. Never, ever happen.
Right. And a red flag law would lower that number specifically.
No child should be a sitting target at their school.
Right. And there is 0 ways of stopping that circumstance. Like if every teacher had a gun and every classroom was a room with a door you could lock, what the fuck are the other teachers going to do once you're holding a classroom, and shooting people and holding, like, shooting kids and holding the rest of them hostage? What happens? What, do they just shoot through the door, shoot you, and just clip a couple other kids in the process? What we have to do is just gack the world up into crossfire all the fucking time. And anybody who suggests that there was a solution preemptively to the circumstance you are pointing out, which would have been the red flag law, which is exactly what brought her to DC in the first place, shows exactly who this human being is.
And no parent should ever have to know the fear of dropping off their children at school, not knowing
which teacher was a pedophile who could kill them, or which teacher was on the verge of committing suicide and just decided to take some kids with him and had been given a gun by the state. By the way, because can I remind you that the armed teachers crowd are the same people telling you that, the teachers are groomers, or that they're trying to murder kids or lure them into sex. Like, now they've got a gun to do it too.
if some student or some madman with a gun is going to come in there and kill their children, kill the teachers, or kill anyone in the school. That should never be a fear that we have in the United States of America.
Right. So remove all the guns from everybody, and then draconian laws for anybody who tries to sell one illegally. But no, that's not what you were talking about? Because that's really the only way you could actually do that. That's really the only way you could guarantee that never happens, is to remove everyone's gun.
And I'll tell you why. It's because we have the Second Amendment. We have the right to bear arms.
Right, you have the right. But with that comes a responsibility. And in the window of responsibility versus right, you basically have said that the right supersedes any responsibility about it. So you can't sue the gun manufacturers or who advertises the thing, kind of Joe Camel style. You can create all kinds of loopholes where straw purchases happen in all these shitty little like red state enclaves. Like, like you want to be able to buy and sell AR-15, piece by piece on fucking eBay.
We should never fear for our children's safety at school. And shame on anyone that made that possible. Because
you did.
I know that fear, and it was the worst fear. When I came out of my school, I have to tell you, the first person I saw was my father. He was the first person I locked eyes with.
And he was the first person I locked eyes with. He was armed.
And the look in his eyes of sheer terror, he was so upset. But when he saw me, the relief that I saw when he hugged me, that I could just feel it in his arms. He was so relieved because he thought that I could die in there.
Right. And thank God while he was worried about a single shooter with multiple guns that might have been in one place, he didn't have to worry about you dying in crossfire.
All these parents outside the school thought that their children could die in that school.
And if only every kid had a gun. Jesus Christ, what is this?
Here's what happened. Luckily, we were the lucky ones. But since that time and so many other occasions.
Hold on. From a Yahoo News article, she appears to be citing a 1990 incident at Forsyth County High School in Georgia, where an armed student held other students from 2 classrooms hostage. No one died in the incident. It moved. And students in other classrooms were evacuated and bused to a nearby elementary school. According to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, yes, she attended South Forsyth High School and was present at the school that day, but she was not in the 2 classrooms that were taken hostage. Right? Yeah. No, she was nearby. I mean, it was like, me and my buddy Johnny Million and Lori Dan. We were at school the day she was headed towards our school, and we were on lockdown because she'd killed people, and there was an idea that she was walking down Green Bay Road and she was going to come to the school.
There have been children murdered, teachers murdered, other people at schools murdered by someone that couldn't control themselves, and
and had access to a gun.
They pulled the trigger.
Oh, they just pulled it. It was just magically it appeared in their hand. And there was no interrupt between this person's mental issues that everybody was well aware of, especially through like modern social media posting, but even beyond that, shrinks and parents and all that kind of shit. There's the occasional surprise, but even still, a red flag and making it harder for someone under 21, like deeper background checks for someone under 21 to get a gun, which if you're a law-abiding citizen and you're balanced and normal, you shouldn't have a problem with. That's where they're leaning.
Should never, ever happen. There have been too many studies, too many plans put in place that people know how to stop it. And that is the only thing that Congress should be working on this.
Yeah, they know how to stop it. Just stop it before it happens, especially with young people under the age of 18.
Week is how to stop people from being able to kill kids in school. Now, let me tell you, that does not involve gun control. That involves protecting our kids with guns.
Oh God. Just I suppose part of it is that, if you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail kind of thing. But this is just fucking goofy. We do not need, no society, none, not a one, needs children going to school, and the only reason they feel safe is because the principal, the vice principal, and the teachers are armed to the fucking teeth, and certain students or parents have been given guard duty to stand outside against the threat from their own neighbors. Especially when most of those threats, especially, 80% of them can be handled by red flag laws.
And so here we have these gun bills that the Democrats are bringing forward. They do not do anything to stop crazy people.
Yes, they do.
Stop mentally ill.
Yes, they do.
People from obtaining a weapon.
Yes, they do. That's exactly the point of the bills that you are there to protest against. Fuck, this is dumb.
Any kind of weapon. It could be a gun. It could be a knife.
Oh, we need some laughter. CSL just posted the Debbie Mules thing. Okay.
It could be a car. They could make a bomb.
Oh, fuck off. Most people who make bombs, by the way, blow themselves to smithereens. It could be a car. Yeah, I'm really worried about somebody coming in, driving into a school and doing donuts in there for hours while, hey, put down the fender and come out with your hands up. Shut the what?
It could be anything that they
Yeah, it could be, they could be armed to the teeth. I think all guns should be converted to do this. And it should be actual farts. And you could have them, the highest setting would be silent but deadly. But even then, you'd have to have a permit. All right, I'm done with her. This is the kind of idiocy one would expect from somebody who's like, what we need is, if only the vice principal had a mortar. Yeah, that'd be a blast in class. It totally would. This is exactly what this is. I would have gotten busted for smuggling this into school.